G'day, I'm Chris, and this is Game Chambers. We are back with another game of Total War Warhammer 3 Domination. This wasn't a ladder game, this was just a casual game between myself and X-Viper. I've gone Cathay with the Eastern Riverlords colour scheme. I quite like this colour scheme. The blues are a really nice shade, and the units look pretty sharp, I reckon. And he's gone with the Broken Wheel Tzeentch. So I've come in with a Dragon-Blooded Shigangan Lord of Yang, with, I think I've got the shield and the big nuke spell. I've got the Fire Ant Rocket, a couple of units of Jade Cavalry, what do they call them? Jade Lancers, a few Jade Warriors, and some Spears. In reserve, I've come with the Terracotta Sentinel, some more Jade Lancers, a whole bunch of Jade Warriors with halberds, a bunch of shielded Jade Warrior crossbows, a couple of peasants just for some cheap arrows, one unit of peasant horsemen, just some more spearmen. He's coming with an Exalted Lord of Change with Tzeentch. I can't remember what spells. We'll have a look when we get in. I think it was blue and pink fire. And then he's gone some Exalted Pink Horrors of Tzeentch. So this can actually put out a fair bit of damage. Plus they increase your, I think it's Winds of Magic reserve, the recharge rate. So you got more Winds of Magic when they're on the field. And they're actually really quite good in combat. So you can see they got a 30 melee attack, 38 melee defense, and 32 weapon strength. So they're pretty good in a fight as well. But their only weakness is they get 25 armor and 20 physical resist. And they do, how much barrier do they have? 1800 barrier, so that's a fair bit of barrier. So all up they've got, what, 9,000 hit points with 1800 that can replenish, so they're quite resilient there as well. Some Forsaken. Forsaken are really good against Cathay, because they're quite heavily armoured, and that's why I've brought the Jade Warriors with halberds. Actually not for anti-large, more for trying to deal with Forsaken. And Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, Doom Knights, some more Forsaken, Flamers, a couple of Cultists. I believe they both just had the summon, and I think they're on horseback, but we'll have a look inside. Some more pink horrors and a whole bunch of blue horrors, cheap, resilient units, got really good capture weight and really good volume of fire. See the pinks have got 80 models at 28 damage. The blues have got 160 models at 21 damage, so their burst damage is a lot greater than the pink horrors. Anyway, let's get into it. We're on Galleon's Cove, which has got a really nice, as I was saying in another video, there's a good spot up here where you can set up your artillery and you can cover points 1 and 2, and it's actually quite hard to shift them from there unless you've got flyers or spells or artillery of your own, which Tzeentch does. So you can see Fire Ant Rocket is immediately going to go and set itself up on there. Jade Warriors are going to push forward. They're going to send one unit of peasants down to point 3 just to make sure that Viper is staying honest and can't just take it for free. Jade Lancers are staying back, so this one unit here is actually going to try and protect the Fire Ant Rocket if any harpies or anything come down. You can see the Dragon-Blooded Shigangan Lord is actually going to move in and do a bit of scouting, see what Tzeentch is bringing in. So let's have a look at the Exalted Lord change the spells. Yeah, he's got the blue and the pink fire, which is a really good combination of spells. He's got obviously the Harpy Summon and the he's got the Infernal Gateway, the huge vortex as well, so that's quite a damaging vortex. Does he have the Gaze of Fate? Oh no, that's Kairos has the Gaze of Fate. The Exalted Pink Horrors of Forsaken heading up to point 1, and it looks like he's going for a side cap tactic here, going to take points 1 and 3, or maybe he's just looping around to put pressure on point 2 from this side. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just going to move in here, try and get set up on point 2. As one thing I've learnt with Cathay is you can hold ground really well, but it's really hard to take ground. So I want to try and get ground early, and then just try and make sure you don't give it up. That's the way I've been trying to play them. So he just moved them here so they're just inside the square, make sure that I've got the capture weight, and if anything comes in I'll push in a bit further just to move the capture weight onto the point. Got one unit coming up here, and the Dragon-Blooded Shigangan Lord is just sort of trying to stay away from this Exalted Lord of Change and sort of see what's going on, see where she's needed. Pink fire going down the middle does a little bit of damage to these Jade Warriors, and you can see I'm just sort of moving them to make sure their shields are facing the pink horrors. Or maybe I was just late dodging the pink fire. But the thing with shields, they've got to be fairly front on to work. I can't remember the exact angle from them. I think it's like a 30-degree cone, might be a little bit more. I'll have to check when TW Stats actually has the stats for Warhammer 3 up. But I don't think they're getting their shield bonus from there, so I'm trying to reposition them to get the shields facing forward, but I absolutely messed that up and they all get shot in the back and take a fair bit of damage there. see the Pink Horrors, oh sorry, Forsaken charging in on the Jade Warriors, trying to get him into position. If they stand still, they do get some defensive bonuses, so they're trying to get those, so the Jade Lancers can come in and back them up. Firestorm Rocket is trying to fire in on the Pink Horrors. I don't know what happened to the first volley. I must have hit the Blue Horrors, but I want to try and get onto the Pinks. And I'm not even trying to push forward with the Jade Warriors here. I don't want to get them flanked, so I'm just trying to push up far enough to get the crossbowmen that I've summoned in into range to try and shoot back at the Pink Horrors. It's a nice big fire going down, and it looks like I decide to push the Jade Warriors forward after all, realising I'm taking a fair bit of damage. And this new Jade Warriors is going to head up to try and take that Forsaken out of the fight. I think I realised the capture weight was in favour of Tzeentch here, and that's why I've moved them forward to try and remove the Tzeentch units from the point. And how's this point going up here? The Forsaken have seen off the Jade Warriors pretty easily with the support of the Exalted Pink Horrors, and the Dragon-Blooded Shikengan Lord dropping in a, what do they call this spell? Constellation Dragon. Watch this glorious thing. Oh, beautiful. Blue Horrors absolutely wrecked. And a little bit of damage to the Jade Lancers, but not a huge amount. I got another unit of Jade Lancers coming to try and support. Let's see if I can take that point. Peasants have taken point 3 down on the low ground, and the Fire Rain Rocket is still firing in. See here, Doom Knights of Tzeentch have gotten into my Jade Warrior crossbows, so I'm trying to spread them out, and I've redirected these Jade Lancers. I figure point 1's probably lost. I need to save my back line here, so the Jade Lancers are coming in. Dragon-Blooded Lord is coming in here. Kairos, the Exalted Lord of Change has dropped down on my Fire Rain Rocket, so I'm trying to get the peasants to go on them, onto the Lord, but they're not wanting to do so, so a little bit glitchy there. So I send the Shikengan Lord in to try and help out a little bit. Sentinel has been summoned, coming into the middle. Sentinel is pretty resilient to the Forsaken and the Flamers. Jade Lancers have pushed through here, which is a different unit of Jade Lancers. I think these ones flanked around the back way. So I managed to take the middle. We've taken points 2 and 3. Nice vortex going down over here. Just absolutely eviscerates my poor peasants. And a summon comes in of some Furies. I think the Fire Rain Rocket has still got 3. Yeah, still got 3 units firing. And the Jade Lancers are now coming in and trying to pin in this Lord of Change. So you can see I'm giving the move orders to try and get them to surround him and use their mass to pin him in place. And you see Viper has got these Harpies up here diving in, and I actually desummoned the Fire Rain Rocket there to prevent it getting destroyed, because I've got nothing that can protect it. So I decided to bring it back before it gets destroyed, and that way I can resummon it with a bit of a discount. Doom Knight's still cruising around in the middle. They had to take off into the X, the Terracotta Sentinel. It looks like they're trying to charge. Got a bit of a glitchy bug going on with their attempt to charge on the Sentinel there. Hopefully CA can fix that flying unit bug, because it's exceptionally annoying when that happens. Because one of them has managed to land, but the rest of them are all just dancing around on the Sentinel's head. So not their most glorious of days. Over here I've summoned in another unit of Cav, just some peasant horsemen, just to try and help pin in this Lord of Change. And then he does drop down a big vortex, so I decide it's not worth 2 units of Cav, and I try and get him out of that vortex, and I figure I can just let him go. Peasants over here, we've got Blue Horrors move up on them, and they're just getting absolutely destroyed. They're not going to be able to hold that point without help, so I decided to send these cavalry units over. These crossbowmen still trying to fight off these Doom Knights. You can see one of them's facing the wrong way though. We've got some more Jade Lancers coming in to support, and I've managed to push off the rest of the Horrors that were here. And these 2 tattered units of Jade Warriors are just trying to hold the line. Jade Lancers have gone in on the Flamers to try and get some damage on there. And I've got a unit of Jade Warriors that have rallied up here that are not being very useful at all. Viper's pushing down here with some more Horrors and Forsaken, a couple of units of Forsaken. Really nice flank coming in, so this is actually looking pretty dangerous, but I do get another unit of Peasant Spears and another Fire Rain Rocket. I'm going to see if I can sneak them back up onto this hill and get them set up again. These Jade Warrior crossbows are pretty much going to die. Nice blue fire goes down on the Dragon-Blooded Lord. Doesn't do a huge amount of damage, so she's coming back. I can see these units are starting to group up, and I think I'm going to drop a Constellation of the Dragon on them. So what happens here? No. These Furies come down, and looks like they've been forgotten about. So a bit unfortunate there from Viper. Did summon them, but they're not really getting anything done. So this A couple of units of Jade Lancers are really trying hard to deal with the Flamers, but don't even manage to deal with them. Oh, here we go. Constellation comes down and... Yep, smashes down onto nothing. Yeah, kind of missed that one there. It was a bit slow on the cast. Over on this flank, the cavalry are dealing with the blue horrors, the peasant spears are coming in, and we're in control at that point. So at the moment, controlling the middle, and point 3, Viper and Tzeentch are controlling the point on the front top. Point 1, and the Fire Rain rocket, now been resummoned, is coming back into position to try and deal some more damage to these units here. The middle is starting to look pretty bad. The capture weight is in favour of Tzeentch. There's quite a few units around here. The Shigengan Lord is stuck in combat, as is the Terracotta Sentinels. They're about the only units left fighting. There is even a Jade Lancer still up on the hill fighting Pink Horrors and Forsaken, but they will definitely not win that fight. We've got some more Jade Warriors and Jade Warrior crossbows coming in this way, a rallying unit of Jade Warrior crossbowmen, and over on this flank we've got Blue Horrors, a couple of Blue Horror units coming in. So you can see I'm redirecting the cab to try and intercept them, and I'm going to put the Peasant Spears in the forest over here. Flamers are now teeing off, doing some nice damage to the Terracotta Sentinel, but my Firestorm rocket battery is now in position, so it's going to start raining fire down on these Exalted Pink Horrors. I think these crossbows are going to shoot these. Yep, so the Forsaken Shatter there, and the Fire Rain rockets come down on those Exalted Pink Horrors. So the first volleys, just deal with the barrier, and then we might start actually doing damage to the troops there. So the crossbows are now teeing off on the Flamers. I need to take them offline. A bit of a mismicro here. I don't know what happened, but Viper has accidentally sent them into melee with the Terracotta Sentinel, which is not where they want to be at all. So they wanted to be staying back here, maybe on guard mode, shooting the Terracotta Sentinel. Fire Rain rocket doing some nice damage here. Some of those incoming troops, but you can see the capture weight is going the way of Tzeentch. So I don't have enough troops on this point. I'm going to have to get some more infantry on here. I've got some Jade Lancers coming in again to try and deal with these Pink Horrors, but he pulls them back and pulls the Forsaken in instead. I decide this looks like it's going to be a tough fight to win, and I have a unit of Jade Warriors, and this point seems undefended, so I can't see any defenders, so I'm going to send them up there and see if I can cap it. Over on point 3, I've forgotten about my Jade Lancers, and just standing there getting shot by blue and pink horrors. I pulled them out to cycle charge. And there we go, Viper has taken point 2, and we now need to try and get that back from us. This is where it's quite difficult. There's Cathay, and my Lord's in trouble too, the Exalted Lord of Change, absolutely destroying my poor Dragon-Blooded Shigengan Lord there. See the remnants of the Doom Knights coming in this way. I think they're trying to stop the Fire Rain rocket, but I'm bringing in some more crossbows, some halberds to try and see what I can do to take this middle back. Now you'll notice when I summon them in, I actually wait most of the time to make sure I can bring in an infantry unit with the ranged units. There's a couple of reasons I do that. One's the obvious, like this is it's harmony. You want to keep that harmony going if you can, and also because Tzeentch has got a lot of fast-moving units, things like Furies and Screamers and that sort of thing, and I want to have the infantry available to protect them. So you can see here, we've got a lot of chain just jumped in on these Jade Warriors, just making a mess of them. But with their armor and their shields, they actually trade quite well into these Pink Horrors. You can see even the Terracotta Sentinel is quite resilient to the Pink Horror fire too. But it's starting to look pretty bad here. I don't have any way of taking this back, but I have snuck these guys, Jade Warriors, up onto point 1, and they are holding onto that. Point 3 is starting to look bad too, so the Jade Lancers were pushed off by the 2 units of Blue Horrors, and the Peasant Long Spearmen are not going to be able to hold that. At this point, I don't think I had anything left I could call in, because I had a lot of units that were routing, so I was starting to get a bit worried, and I was pushing everything I had through here, trying to retake the centre. Luckily for me, these Jade Warriors are up on the hill fighting the Forsaken with a much greater capture weight, and they should win that fight. Terracotta Sentinel still going hard in the middle, but he will go down, especially if this Lord of Change comes in. I'm just trying to use the Fire Rain rocket best that I can to, let's got 3 left, to try and deal with as much of this infantry. I know it's probably a terrible volley shooting the cultist, but Peasant Horsemen coming in to try and keep stuff off the crossbowmen. If I can keep the crossbows shooting, I'm hoping that'll mean I can push them back and retake the centre. So the, I don't know why the Sentinel's got actually more capture weight at the moment, but he's moved off. But I've taken back point 1, so I'm no longer triple capped by Tzeentch, so the points are pretty close. I'm still 500 in front, but at this point, if I don't capture a point, Tzeentch will definitely win. So I need to take back either point 2 or point 3. A lot of my stuff is now bottlenecking here, trying to push out into that Tzeentch shooting. And that's what the Fire Rain Rocket is being used for. It's trying to clear that shooting so that I can push forward into that open ground. This Jade Warrior up here is in a lot of trouble, so he's got 2 Blue Horrors coming from the front and the Forsaken are rallying from behind. Realising that it's a threat, I think I'm going to turn the Fire Rain Rocket to the top. And I might have changed my mind once I saw the Exalted Lord of Change going up there. Because, nope, so there we go, I do decide to fire a volley up there and see what they can do. I also summon in some Peasant Spears and some Jade Lances to see if they can retake point 3. So with only Blue Horrors there, I'm hoping that'll be enough. But we won't know until they get over there. So there's a heap of stuff up here. It's a good target for the Fire Rain Rockets. I mean, in the middle here, we're actually starting to get some ground back. So the Terracotta Sentinel is still fighting in the middle. He seems to have a much greater capture weight than the Cultist. And we've got the Jade Lances here as well. So now they're on the centre. I'm going to ignore this Cultist and push these crossbows and halberds in to try and take that central point. Tzeentch is still in front. They're on 4,300. We're on 4,200 points. We've been triple capped again, so we've lost this point here from their sheer volume of troops. The Soul Grinder of Tzeentch is up there, and it's starting to look really bad for Cathay. I need to take 2 points back. Pushing over here, the Jade Lancers are trying their best to push off these Blue Horrors, and we've got Spearmen and Jade Warriors coming in. We are just starting to win back the middle here, and we do retake the middle, not yet, yes? Yep, so we've retaken this middle point. We now just have to try and retake this point. We're on 4,800 versus 4,300. At this point, I still think I can win with a double cap. I don't think I'm into triple cap territory at the moment. I have got my rally of Jade Warriors over here, but I'm not moving them back to the point. A little bit slow, but at this point it's definitely all over. So Viper has managed to hold on to the points, and Tzeentch has come out with the win there. So very good game of Viper. It was a close game right down to the end. I thought I might have been able to get it, but he managed to get the points from me, triple cap me there for a while, and push me back to basically to my deployment zone by pushing me into these forests and getting a massive load of fire onto the center point. A very fun game there, just a bit of a casual one, not ladder or anything. Let's have a bit of a look at some of the values, see how all the units went. Dragon-Blooded Shigengan Lord, 1200, nothing great, but she was being mobile, throwing down Jade Shields, and that one missed Constellation of the Dragon would have been very useful. Fire Rain Rocket, absolutely hero of the army today. 320 kills, 3,500 gold value. Did technically get summoned twice, but it only lost 1 cannon the first time when I desummoned it, and I desummoned it so it didn't die. So, I mean, I guess you could say it was going to die there anyway. So, but still, really impressed with this piece against Tzeentch if you can keep it alive and shooting. Cavalry, they didn't get huge value. Their job is just to try and kill the pink and blue horrors, but they do an absolutely terrible job of it. Now, I think they'll actually lose to a blue horror unit if they charge it from the front. It's not a good match for them at all. But yeah, with their armor, you kind of need their armor and their speed in this matchup. So Jade Warriors, you never expect Jade Warriors to actually kill anything. Same with the Peasants. Reinforcement, Terracotta Sentinel was fighting in that middle pretty much the entire game. This unit of Jade Lancers did alright, but yeah, this is where the value comes from most Cathay, is the range units. I never even summoned in those Peasants. Peasant Horsemen, and there. Kairos do 2,900. So the Exalted Pink Horus didn't get huge amounts of value. Forsaken, always a good pick against Cathay. They definitely always get the value. Soul Grinder only just came in at the end. Doom Knights did quite well. Again, yeah, Forsaken. Absolutely. They really carry this matchup. They're really hard for Cathay to deal with. Flamers. The value of the Cultists, you can't really tell because they did summon in Pink Horrors. And their value is not added in. And the Blue Horrors, very cost effective, very efficient unit. So good game to my opponent Viper there, and hopefully you've enjoyed the content. If you have, please like and subscribe, and we'll have more Warhammer 3 content coming soon.